All right, Cancer, let's get into your reading. So, the message coming in strong today is this, and I need you to really hear it. This person made a decision about you overnight, and that decision carries the weight of real transformation. It was not a casual thought either. This was something deep that settled into place while you rested. They woke up with a different kind of certainty, and now they are already moving on it. The connection between you two has been evolving quietly, and this person has been feeling it intensely. There has been a slow, undeniable pull that they tried to rationalize, but it only grew stronger. What shifted is that they stopped resisting it, and something clicked inside them in a permanent way. The pull toward you became something they could no longer contain, and it overflowed into absolute clarity. Here is our first card, Judgment, and this confirms the entire message coming through for you. Judgment represents a massive awakening, a moment where clarity floods in and there is no denying it. This person experienced a deep spiritual reckoning about you, and it shook everything they thought they knew. Judgment does not show up for surface level feelings. It arrives when the transformation is already happening. The realization they had was not small or passing. It cut through every wall they had built. They could not shake it loose, and they have completely stopped trying to pretend it means nothing. This card tells me that the outcome was locked in. There is no going back from this one. They crossed a threshold overnight, and on the other side, everything confirmed what they already knew. What they knew is that you matter, deeply and undeniably, in a way they cannot walk away from. Now, the next card coming through is the King of Wands, and this amplifies everything we just saw. The King of Wands carries bold, commanding energy, and it shows that this person is done hesitating. There is a fire behind what they chose, and it is not the kind that fades by morning. This energy confirms they are stepping into their authority about the situation, taking full ownership of it. The King of Wands does not waver, and neither does this person in the direction they have taken. They are approaching you from a place of genuine confidence, not arrogance, but grounded, purposeful resolve. What stands out is the timing here, because this card landed right beside Judgment for a clear reason. It means the awakening already fueled the action, and they moved on it without second guessing themselves. This person is not sitting back and overthinking it anymore. They already know what they want from you. The King of Wands confirms they made a bold, irreversible choice, and your name is all over it. Then we have the Chariot, and this final card seals the message with absolute certainty and direction. The Chariot is pure forward motion. It represents a person who has made their choice and charged ahead. This person is no longer sitting in confusion or doubt. They have picked a lane and committed fully. The Chariot confirms that action is already underway, and the momentum behind it is building very quickly. Everything in this card points to determination, focused, relentless energy that refuses to slow down or pull back. They have mapped out their next steps already, and you are woven directly into the center of them. The Chariot does not arrive in readings where the energy is uncertain. It demands forward, committed action. What makes this reading hit differently is the way all three cards align without contradiction or hesitation. Judgment brought the awakening. The King of Wands ignited the courage, and the Chariot launched the action. Together, they paint a picture of a person who has been completely shaken by what they feel. This is the kind of shift that does not come from logic. It rises from somewhere much deeper. You may have sensed something shifting in the atmosphere recently, and what you felt was completely real. They are choosing you with full awareness, and that choice was cemented in the stillness of the night. The energy around this connection right now is intense, layered, and undeniably real in every possible way. They are not tiptoeing around this anymore. They are walking straight toward you with raw, vulnerable honesty. All three cards confirm without question that this person has already crossed the point of no return. Everything has been decided. The action is already unfolding, and every piece of this moment centers on you. Okay, let us go ahead and dive into this because your side of the connection holds a lot. You have been carrying more than you have been willing to admit, even to yourself lately. Layers of emotion are running through you right now, and not all of them are easy to name. Part of you wants to trust what you have been feeling, but the other part keeps questioning everything. You catch yourself replaying moments in your head, searching for proof that what you sensed was genuine. The doubt does not come from weakness, it comes from how desperately you want this to be real. Your heart already knows what it wants, but your mind has been running interference for a long time. Here is our first card for your energy, the High Priestess, and she speaks volumes about your state. The High Priestess confirms you have been sitting with quiet knowledge and you have not acted on it. Deep down, you already sense the truth of this connection, but you have been guarding that awareness carefully. The High Priestess reflects a quiet inner knowing, one that has been with you longer than you realize. You are not confused about what you feel. You are cautious about what happens if you fully surrender. That caution is not weakness either. It is the mark of a heart that has been hurt before. You have walked through experiences that taught you to protect yourself, and that protection still lingers everywhere. The High Priestess also reveals that your intuition has been louder than usual, almost impossible to ignore. You keep receiving signals that confirm what you suspect, but you hesitate, afraid to fully lean into them. There is a battle between your instinct and your logic, and neither side is willing to back down. The next card here is the Seven of Cups, and it reveals where your mind has been lately. The Seven of Cups represents all the possibilities you have been weighing, every scenario you have imagined. You have pictured how this could unfold in a dozen different ways, some beautiful and some devastating. Your imagination has been working overtime, creating outcomes that have not even happened yet inside your head. The Seven of Cups tells me you have been wandering, lost, in a thick fog of what ifs. You are not indecisive by nature, but the magnitude of what you feel has made everything feel enormous. Each possibility carries weight, and you have been holding all of them at once without putting any down. That is exhausting, and your emotional reserves have been stretched thinner than you have allowed yourself to acknowledge. You want clarity more than anything, but you also fear what clarity might ask you to do next. The Seven of Cups does not judge your overthinking. It mirrors the incredible depth of what you carry. Each cup on that card reflects a version of tomorrow, and you have been staring at every one. Now, the final card on your side is the Queen of Swords, and she cuts through the noise. The Queen of Swords represents the part of you that refuses to be fooled, no matter the circumstances. Even while your heart races and your mind spirals, there is a core inside you that stays sharp. That sharpness is your gift, and it has kept you grounded when everything around you felt unpredictable. The Queen of Swords confirms you are not the type who gets swept away without examining the current. You demand honesty from yourself before you demand it from anyone else, and that standard never wavers. What this card also reveals is a quiet loneliness that comes from always being the one who sees. You carry the burden of perception, always watching, and sometimes you wish you could just feel instead. The Queen of Swords knows your armor is not coldness. It is a response to being wounded profoundly. Underneath all of that composure, you are aching for a connection that finally matches your depth and devotion. You have given yourself permission to want it quietly, but you have not given yourself permission to receive. That tension between wanting and withholding is the defining current of your entire emotional landscape right now. You deserve to be met where you stand, and a piece of you already recognizes that truth inside. All three cards on your side paint a portrait of quiet strength, wrapped in layers of earned caution. The High Priestess held your knowing. The Seven of Cups mirrored your mind. The Queen honored your guard. You are standing at the edge of something profound, and every part of you can feel it building. Now, let us see what the cards are showing, because their emotional world runs far deeper than expected. This person has been battling something on the inside, and they have kept most of it hidden. Their feelings for you did not arrive gently. They crashed in like a wave with no warning. It unsettled them in ways they have not fully processed, and that unease sits heavy on their chest. They are not the type to openly express vulnerability, and that has made this even harder for them. Admitting what they feel means releasing control, because control is something they have held onto for survival. The fear of being exposed emotionally is something that keeps circling through their thoughts without resolution. What haunts them most is the vulnerability required, and they have spent years building walls against exactly that. Here is our first card for their energy, the Ace of Cups, and it overflows with raw emotion. The Ace of Cups represents a flood of new feeling, the kind that cannot be contained or rationalized. This person is experiencing an emotional opening they did not anticipate, and it has shaken their foundation. The Ace of Cups confirms what they feel for you is pure, unfiltered, and completely overwhelming to them. They did not plan for this, and they did not expect it to consume them so completely either. Their heart cracked open, and what poured out was a depth of affection they cannot undo or deny. The Ace of Cups also reveals that this person is terrified, genuinely terrified of their own emotions. They have never felt anything quite like this, and that novelty alone is enough to frighten them. Caring for you was not part of their blueprint, and they are scrambling to make sense of it. The next card coming through is the Six of Swords, and it speaks to the mental shift within. The Six of Swords shows this person quietly leaving behind old emotional patterns, beliefs, and familiar walls. They used to believe they could walk through life without needing anyone, and that belief is crumbling now. The Six of Swords reveals a person in transition, moving from denial into a reluctant form of acceptance. There is grief in that transition too, because letting go of who they thought they were is painful. They are mourning the version of themselves that did not need you, because that version no longer exists. The Six of Swords confirms they are in the middle of an internal passage, and it is uncomfortable. They feel caught between the familiar safety of distance and the terrifying warmth of what draws them. Neither shore feels solid underneath them, and that instability is feeding a constant, quiet anxiety inside. This card tells me their mind has been restless, cycling through memories and projections without landing firm. They replay conversations in their head over and over, searching for clues about whether you feel it too. Then we have the Page of Cups, and it captures the most tender and fragile part of them. The Page of Cups represents the innocent, unguarded piece of their heart, the part they protect most fiercely. This is the part of them that believes in devotion without conditions, without guarantees, without needing proof. They have buried it under years of self-reliance, but your presence brought it rushing to the surface. The Page of Cups confirms that underneath their composure, there is a childlike hope they cannot extinguish. They want to offer it freely, but the fear of rejection has them frozen in a painful limbo. The Page of Cups also reveals this person has been drafting words, things they never intend to send. Unspoken feelings live inside them constantly, things they rehearse in silence but never allow past their lips. Their emotional vocabulary has expanded because of you, and that growth both excites and terrifies them equally. What sits at the center of this is a fear so quiet it almost does not need naming. They are afraid that revealing the full truth of what they feel will permanently alter the landscape. That fear is not about you specifically, it is about the enormity of what they discovered within themselves. They never imagined holding this much feeling for one soul, and the realization has left them completely breathless. All three cards confirm that this person is carrying an ocean of emotion, barely acknowledged and deeply felt. The Ace flooded their heart, the Six of Swords shifted their mind, and the Page softened their armor. Their inner world is consumed by you, and every unspoken word they carry proves the depth of it. So, let us go ahead and get into it because the movement here is already well underway. This person is no longer standing still, and the steps they are taking are deliberate and calculated. The energy has shifted from internal processing to outward motion, and that shift happened remarkably fast. They have moved past the stage of wondering, and they are now actively positioning themselves closer to you. What we are seeing here is concrete behavior, not promises or intentions sitting on a shelf somewhere. They are making tangible adjustments to their daily routine, and those adjustments revolve entirely around reaching you. There is a deliberate shift in how they spend their time, and it is undeniably focused on you. The talking phase is finished, the planning has concluded, and the execution phase has officially taken over now. Here is our first card, the Knight of Pentacles. And this card is all about methodical, steady progress. The Knight of Pentacles does not rush or act recklessly. Every step is planned with careful precision first. This person is approaching you with a strategy, and that strategy involves showing up consistently without fail. They are not gambling on a grand gesture. They are building a path toward you, brick by brick. The Knight of Pentacles confirms that their actions are grounded, practical, and rooted in long-term intention. They have begun rearranging priorities in their schedule, and you have climbed to the very top of it. This card also shows they are quietly preparing something behind the scenes, a move you have not spotted. It is not impulsive or random. It is structured, and they have put genuine thought into the approach. The Knight of Pentacles never acts without a clear blueprint, and this person has already drafted theirs completely. Each piece is being laid down with patience, and the structure they are constructing is meant to last. The next card is the Two of Wands, and it confirms that planning has transitioned into real positioning. The Two of Wands represents standing at the threshold of a new chapter with one foot already through. This person has surveyed the landscape of their options, and they have chosen you above every alternative. The Two of Wands shows they are no longer weighing possibilities. They have locked onto a single direction. Their focus has narrowed considerably, and every decision they are making right now points back toward you. They are clearing obstacles from their path with quiet efficiency, removing anything that could slow this down. The Two of Wands confirms they are operating with a map they built, and you are the destination. Conversations they used to avoid are now happening, and boundaries they once enforced are being loosened deliberately. They have started communicating differently with the people around them, signaling a major shift in their availability. The Two of Wands also reveals they have been gathering information, preparing carefully for the right moment. They are not leaving this to chance or fate. They are engineering the circumstances for a direct encounter. The pace of their pursuit is quickening, and nothing in the cards suggests they intend to pull back. Then we have the Eight of Wands, and this card accelerates everything the previous two cards revealed. The Eight of Wands is pure velocity, confirming that events are now unfolding in rapid, unavoidable succession. Messages are forming, plans are materializing, and the distance between you and this person is shrinking daily. The Eight of Wands does not allow for stalling. It pushes everything forward with undeniable force and speed. This person has already initiated contact or is preparing to, and the timing will feel sudden and unexpected. Communication channels are opening, and you may notice a visible shift in how frequently they appear near you. Their approach will feel different this time, more intentional, more direct, and stripped of any usual hesitation entirely. The Eight of Wands confirms the waiting period is finished, and the momentum cannot be slowed or reversed. All three cards paint a portrait of structured movement, with accelerating force and no indication of retreat. The Knight laid the foundation, the Two of Wands charted the course, and the Eight launched it. Everything points to a person who has moved from contemplation to execution, and they are not slowing down. The action is real, the steps are measurable, and every one of them leads directly back to you.
Okay, let us go deeper into this, because what they are concealing is heavier than anything shown. There are confessions trapped inside this person, and they have been swallowing them down for too long. The things they want to tell you live right on their tongue, but pride keeps pulling them back. They rehearse entire conversations with you in the darkness, and none of those words ever reach the surface. What they carry in silence is not casual. It is the kind of truth that rearranges a life. They have imagined saying it 100 different ways, and every single version terrifies them to their core. The weight of the unsaid has become its own heavy presence, filling every interaction with thick, unspoken tension. Here is our first card, the Lovers, and it cuts straight to the center of what they hide. The Lovers confirms that this person privately fantasizes about a full, reciprocal, committed union with you. They do not just want your attention, they want your mornings and your mundane, ordinary, quiet moments. The Lovers reveals a confession never voiced. They want to belong to you in the deepest sense. They picture waking beside you, sharing comfortable silence that needs no filling, constructing something irreplaceable together. This card exposes the raw, unedited version of their longing, the one they dress in casual indifference. Behind every measured interaction, there is a person screaming internally to be chosen and claimed by you. The Lovers also reveals they compare every other bond to yours, and nothing, absolutely nothing, measures up. Nobody else registers the same way, and that comparison has quietly dismantled every alternative they once considered. They confess in silence that you have ruined the template, and nothing fits the shape you carved inside. The next card is the Nine of Cups, known as the Wish card, and it speaks volumes here. The Nine of Cups confirms that you are the wish, the singular, unspoken desire they guard most protectively. When they close their eyes at night, the vision they hold closest is a life intertwined with yours. The Nine of Cups reveals they have been manifesting you without calling it that, silently willing you closer. They pray for it in their own way, through thoughts they never share and hopes buried beneath routine. This card exposes a secret they would never willingly admit. They need you more than their independence. That confession shakes their entire constructed identity because self-sufficiency has been their armor for years. The Nine of Cups says they have already imagined the celebration, the relief of finally being reciprocated. They dream about hearing you speak the words they cannot say, and it consumes their every quiet hour. Every guarded glance they offer you is actually a love letter, one they wrote but refused to deliver. The Nine of Cups also confirms they hold a specific vision of togetherness, detailed and vividly alive. They have furnished rooms in their imagination with your presence, and none of those rooms have an exit. Then we have the Four of Wands, and this card unveils the deepest confession buried beneath everything else. The Four of Wands represents home, celebration, and the ache for a shared foundation built on lasting devotion. This person secretly longs to construct a permanent life alongside you, not a chapter, but the whole story. They confess in the quiet of their mind that you are the only stability they have ever craved. The Four of Wands reveals they have imagined introducing you to the sacred, hidden corners of their world. They want you woven into their holidays, their traditions, their family, and their most intimate daily rituals. This card confirms the confession they guard most fiercely is that they already see you as their home. They have never told a soul the depth of it, and that secrecy is slowly suffocating their spirit. The Four of Wands says their deepest desire is permanence with you, not a visit, but a lifetime. Every wall they maintain around you is a contradiction, a barrier, against what they whisper in their stillness. All three cards expose a person drowning in confessions, ones they refuse to release into the open air. The Lovers revealed the craving, the Nine unveiled the wish, and the Four of Wands named it. What they hide is not doubt. It is a love so consuming they fear its own staggering volume. Every silence between you holds a sentence they swallowed, and every glance carries a confession almost delivered. Now let us come in close, because the near future of this connection carries something truly remarkable. The timeline ahead is not vague or uncertain, and the cards are pointing to very specific incoming shifts. Here is our first card for the near future, the Sun, and it radiates pure, undeniable light. The Sun represents joy, clarity, and the lifting of every shadow that has been sitting over this bond. What is approaching is a period of openness, where the walls finally come down on both sides. The Sun confirms that honesty is arriving soon, and it will feel like stepping into warm, golden daylight. Misunderstandings that lingered quietly between you are about to dissolve, replaced by mutual, transparent understanding. The Sun also signals a celebration, a breakthrough where both of you finally see each other without filters. This is the kind of clarity that shifts a connection permanently, and it is heading your way now. The next near future card is the Ten of Pentacles, and this speaks to lasting foundational stability ahead. The Ten of Pentacles confirms this connection is heading towards something permanent, rooted, and generationally significant. What is being built between you is not temporary. It has the architecture of something that endures forever. The Ten of Pentacles reveals that material and emotional security are both approaching for this sacred bond. Conversations about commitment, shared futures, and intertwined plans are closer than either of you currently expects. The near future holds a merging of worlds, and the Ten of Pentacles says it will feel safe.
For the advice card, we have Temperance, and this card asks you to practice patience above everything else. Temperance reminds you that divine timing is orchestrating this, and rushing could disrupt the natural sacred flow. The advice is to remain balanced, trust what you have been sensing, and allow events to unfold organically. Temperance says, do not force conversations or manufacture moments. Let them arrive when the alignment is perfect. Your role is to stay grounded in your worth and to receive what approaches with open arms. Temperance also advises releasing the need for control over outcomes and surrendering fully to the unfolding process. The universe has been arranging this behind the scenes, and Temperance confirms that the arrangement is nearly complete. Trust your intuition above outside opinions, because your inner compass has been pointing accurately this entire time. Let us revisit the message that opened this reading, because every single card confirmed its truth completely. This person made a life-altering decision about you overnight, and they are already acting on it now. From the very first card to the last, that message was validated without a single contradiction or hesitation. Every part of this reading reinforced that this person is oriented toward you with intention, clarity, and devotion. Let us walk through every card that appeared, because together they tell the full story of this bond. Judgment confirmed the awakening. The King of Wands brought decisive courage, and the Chariot launched forward motion. The High Priestess reflected your inner knowing, and the Seven of Cups mirrored your swirling emotional mind. The Queen of Swords honored your sharpness, and the Ace of Cups revealed their overwhelming emotional flood. The Six of Swords showed their transition, and the Page of Cups captured their most fragile, tender side. The Knight of Pentacles confirmed steady action, and the Two of Wands locked their direction toward you. The Eight of Wands accelerated everything, and the Lovers exposed the depth of their craving for union. The Nine of Cups named you as the wish, and the Four of Wands unveiled their deepest longing. The Sun illuminated the near future. The Ten of Pentacles promised stability, and Temperance offered divine patience. 18 cards came through, and not a single one carried doubt, hesitation, or mixed signals of any kind. That is extraordinary, and it confirms this bond holds a weight the universe itself is protecting very fiercely. Whatever you have been questioning or second-guessing, the cards are gently asking you to release it entirely. You are deeply valued, profoundly wanted, and this person is orienting their whole world around reaching you. This reading was meant to find you at this moment, and I hope it brought you genuine peace. Thank you for being here, for trusting this space, and for allowing the cards to speak freely. I am sending you warmth and love, and I am grateful you chose to stay until the end. What is approaching is a period of openness, where the walls finally come down on both sides. The Sun confirms that honesty is arriving soon, and it will feel like stepping into warm, golden daylight.